Hi, welcome to Hyperion Hype Club. My name is McKenna and I love the Kingdom Keepers books by Ridley Pearson. Join me as we discuss this series and others published by Disney Hyperion Books. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to season 3 of the Hyperion Hype Club podcast. In this season, we will be diving into the third Kingdom Keepers book, Disney in Shadow by Ridley Pearson. Very excited to keep going further in this series. I hope you guys all had some happy holidays. I know I certainly did. And I definitely got quite a bit of reading done during that time. I finished that nonfiction book that I was reading, but I also read and reviewed Fairest of All, and then I read Beast Within, which I'll be doing a review soon for that. Also by Serena Valentino. I read The Demigod Files, which is part of the Percy Jackson books. King Chronicles 2, also by Rick Riordan, like the Percy Jackson books. And then I reread The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And I read Fourth Wing twice. And actually last night I read the bonus chapters. So loved that. Yeah, nice quality time with books. So definitely let me know what books you guys read in between these two, like the second and third Kingdom Keepers books. And if you didn't read any and you binge watch something or you got really into meditation or anything else like that, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And then right now I'm reading another Serena Valentino book because I have 4 of the villain alternative stories kind of thing. And I'm reading Poor Unfortunate Souls. And I would definitely review this one. This one's been so good so far. And I'm reading them not in the order they were released, because in Poor Unfortunate Souls, it has in the sleeve the order it's recommended to read them in. So first of all, The Beast Within, Poor Unfortunate Souls, Mistress of All Evil, which I have. And then the ones I don't have, Mother Knows Best, The Odd Sisters, Evil Thing, and Cold Hearted. But yeah, just some great other Disney Hyperion books. Which if you're new to the podcast, that's what I cover. I cover Disney Hyperion books. And if even just one book in the series was published as part of Disney Hyperion books, then I will cover it. So yeah. And then another Kingdom Keepers Disney Hyperion books news. On February 27th of this year, the second Kingdom Keepers Inheritance book comes out. It's called Villain's Realm. I have it pre-ordered. I'm so excited. Yay! Okay. So let's just get into this Disney in Shadow book now. So just to back up a little, it was published in 2010. So the first book 2005, second one 2008, now this one 2010. Just so we all know kind of where we're at. So for the highlights reel, Wayne has which if you're new, this is just kind of a brief overview, brief summary of what went on during this section, which, by the way, chapters 1 through 9. That's what this section is covering. All right. Wayne has been missing for 3 weeks. Maybeck and Finn were running from 4 pirates plus Stitch on Tom Sawyer's Island, heading toward the fob and the other keepers in the teepee. We learn that the DHI projections, though still not in Animal Kingdom, are now in Disney's Hollywood Studios, Epcot, the Disney Cruise Line, and Disney on Ice. At least I'm pretty sure that's what Ridley Pearson meant by the ice show. Finn had to come up with something to tell his parents regarding the wet bed sheets and bloodstain. There's this mystery stalker woman. Amanda and Jess might be sent back to the Fairleys home in Maryland. Finn, Jess, and Amanda look for Wayne and try to avoid the mystery woman at Epcot, leading Jess and Amanda leading to Jess and Amanda tripping an alarm when they got off a Living with the Land boat. We met Mrs. Nash, Jess and Amanda's foster mom. Jess had sketched something with Wayne and the letters MKPFP space IFP, which Philby suggested it was a cryptogram. And I put it into like different cryptogram decoder websites, and I couldn't really get anything out of those. So I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll get hints along the way. We get that the kids are around the age 15 in this book, so they're either high school freshmen or sophomores now. Because when it started, I want to say they were in 7th grade. They were obviously middle schoolers, definitely. So they could still be like in junior high. Then, okay, Finn used his DHI in the real world to dodge Lewowski. And then over ice cream, which double scoop vanilla with peaches and almond crunch. Yes, please. The kids decide how to approach Jess's sketch of Wayne. They decide to turn Jess and Amanda into DHIs. Wow. So that is it for the highlights reel. Now on to iconic things. So these are things I think are iconic to Disney, but were kind of just briefly mentioned in the book. I just want to shine a little more of a light on them. We have the Leave a Legacy, which and this book takes place back when it was still inside of the park. So it was all those like big gray things. Hence the cemetery vibes it kind of gave Finn. But now they're bright and colorful and located before you enter the park. And if you want to find the in sync pictures, which each of the members has their own photo, but they're all right in a row, you can look for panel 7, column 16, rows 64 through 68. So they're just 5 straight in a row on the way down. Okay, another thing, this mystery soccer woman has pins on her bag, like collectible Disney pins. I collect pins. I definitely have some special pins that I will never trade. Some are still like on their little cardboard back and everything, like my Disney 100 Snow White pin, my VIP tour pin, which still has like a piece of plastic over it. Just like, I want it pristine. What else? I'm keeping one of my Hawkeye pins on with the back on. I have a few others that are just like, I think like Epcot 35 and stuff like that. Next, Soarin' Over California. That opened in 2001 in Disney's California Adventure and 2005 in Epcot, and it ran in both parks through 2016. It is temporarily back right now. And I went to go ride it, and the Tinkerbell at the end was the best nostalgic moment because I totally blanked that she made an appearance there. I, like everyone else, probably was like, the orange scent. We're gonna smell the orange scent. Although I do have a hot take on Soarin'. I think Soarin' Around the World is better than Soarin' Over California. I think the graphics are just I like the graphics better. I like traveling, so I like seeing different places in the world, especially since they're locations that inspired stuff in Disney, like film and movies and everything. Film and movies are the same thing. Whatever. You get what I mean. But yeah, I mean, I guess with Soarin' Over California graphics, they might not be as like they don't really seem to have that big wide angle lens that if you're at the side can make it seem wonky. So that is one thing I would say Soarin' Over California has over Soarin' Around the World, but still, I like Soarin' Around the World better. And there are scents in there that I love too, like when you're going over to Taj Mahal and everything. Oh, yes. Anyway, moving on from iconic things, I'm just gonna go boom, 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 boom through some of my random comments that I had. And then I like to do all my questions in one place. Let me know if you guys want me to just do random comments and questions all in one go. I think in a very early episode, or a few of the very early episodes, I did that. And I don't know, I just like separating comments and questions because then it's just like a hunk of questions to ponder right at the end. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, definitely. So, random comments. I just want to start by saying I acknowledge that this book, if written today, wouldn't have used the term Indian to describe the scene you can see from the Liberty Bell riverboat attraction. So this is where when Finn and Maybeck cross from Tom Sawyer Island, cross the river, and you're in the encampment. That's when they use the term Indian. And in case you were wondering, the two most accepted PC terms at the moment are American Indian and Indigenous American, but specific tribal names are better according to the National Museum of American Indians. I am just going to refer to the spot as the encampment from here on out. Okay, so Wayne mentioned how if the villains manage to scare off the good guys, quote, only people attracted by evil will come, end quote, which is something to maybe just keep in mind for many, many books down the road. And he talks about how the villains want the parks for themselves. Also, this kind of makes me think about how there have been a lot more guest cast member and guest on guest assaults in the parks the past 2 years. I don't know. Maybe the villains are kind of starting to overtake the parks and we don't know it. I mean, it's, if only we lived in a world of magic and fantasy, but we don't, as far as I'm aware, at least. I don't know. But that would maybe explain why more people are kind of getting upset about it, or maybe it's because so many of the vloggers kind of portray Disney as this idealistic place, so then a lot of people go there thinking it'll be an idealistic experience and it's not. So there are channels that I think really aren't afraid to speak out, sometimes at least. Some WGW News Today isn't afraid to speak out ever. If something bad goes on at the parks, they're the ones who are usually posting about when there's been an assault, and also many good things. Like, they still love the parks, those people, but they're not afraid to shout out hey, this isn't the best ever. Really. I also think Mammoth Club is pretty good. They're not gonna mention all the negative stuff. They don't mention the assaults, which is fine. But they're they kind of more redirect you to focus on this is how to make the best of this not so great situation, and also give you tips on how to have a better park day, and to just make a list of your priorities and try to get those done. And anything else you get done is extra special. So don't go in thinking you're gonna get to do absolutely everything and ride tough down times and all this. So I don't know. I guess some people just maybe they have a negative mindset to begin with and they're expecting that idealistic day and they spent money that maybe they didn't really have enough of for this trip. And yeah, I don't know. There are probably a lot of things that have contributed to that increase in assaults lately, which is unfortunate because it should be a happier place than that. So, oh well, hopefully things get better. We can always hope. Hope is the only thing stronger than fear. Thanks, Suzanne. Good words. Was that in the book? That was in the book, right? Let me look it up. No, the only thing stronger than fear is hope. Okay, that was in the book. Cool. The only thing stronger than fear is hope. Yay. I would also like to redirect you guys toward listening to the second Disney at Dawn episode covering chapters 12 through 24 for alligator talk and why we shouldn't stereotype them as man-eaters, because that is so not the case. The boys were in the gators' territory though, and I'm sure there aren't that many other animals around for the fictional, this isn't a real thing that happened, a fictional gator to eat in the middle of Magic Kingdom. I mean, remember when the bear was in Magic Kingdom? Ah, good times. Okay. I hope the bear had a good time and wasn't, too put out by being taken out of the park. Next, Finn still really values honesty, especially between himself and his mom. That's something I mentioned before I love about him, and it's something that is carried through all 3 books so far. So love that. Love that he did his best not to lie when explaining like the red stain and the wet bed sheets and stuff to his mom. Yeah. I think that's, Ridley Pearson just trying to play a good message for the kids out there. Okay, and then during the last book, I discussed how Jess was back to going by Jez, and her hair was black instead of sandy blonde. And I said then that I remembered that she dyed her hair often. In chapter 4 of this book, Ridley Pearson confirmed that she changes the name she goes by and the color she dyes her hair often. So it's nice that that was addressed. And like her hair was stripped of color after like being under Maleficent's spell or whatever. So yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm going to have a biology nerd moment here. So he mentioned how, was it Horton and the other guy, was it Mike Horton and the whatever, Lewandowski's 2 like sidekicks were like pilot fish to his shark. They kind of like, he was the big bad tough one and they kind of just looked tough by association, I guess. But yeah, Ridley Pearson compared that to pilot fish and sharks. So pilot fish are a type of fish that will follow around sharks. This is a mutualistic relationship since the pilot fish gets food scraps and protection, and it will rid the shark of parasites. Also, while we may picture sharks as predators and hunters, many of them do get a lot of food from scavenging as well. So I just want to say, good job. Nice bio info, Ridley Pearson. And then my last random comment is that the book says Cinderella's castle. It's not her castle. It is Cinderella Castle, as in the castle inspired by Cinderella. The castle in the movie is not her castle. It's her prince's castle, which I guess eventually becomes her castle. But in Walt Disney World, the official name of the castle is Cinderella Castle. So yeah. All right, now on to random questions. My favorite Disney character is Stitch. So why is Stitch a villain in this series? Like, he's part of the Overtakers. Like, no, thank you. I mean, Maleficent must have like reprogrammed him because I refuse to accept this otherwise. Like, Ohana people, Ohana. He would not turn his back on Lilo and the other great, kind, hero-esque people he has met. Or just nice people he has met. Why, Stitch? Why? And if I ever talk to Ridley Pearson one day, that is a question I will ask him. That is the first question I put on my list of questions to one day maybe ask Ridley Pearson. Okay. Wait a moment here. How were Jess and Amanda able to register for school after running from the home for girls with special powers, like the Fairley's home, Like they went to, their no parents had to register them. How'd they get to school? Like it made sense to me that they went to different schools because then I don't know, maybe we'll give them away more if they went to the same school. That's just the question I had. I don't know why I didn't think about that in the last book, but here we are. Did they mention that they were from Maryland in the last book? I don't know, but we know now for sure. So now I have a question for you guys. Amanda went a little deep on the topics of coincidences, the power of intuition, and especially fate. What do you guys think of all that? Are we all fated for our lives to go in a certain direction? I kind of lean towards fate. I certainly think coincidences are a thing. Um, I'm certainly like I go by my gut instinct a lot for a lot of things. Like I never dated a guy more than 2 weeks before my boyfriend now because my gut just told me, nope, nope, get out of there. And my boyfriend and I have been together for 5 years. So I I trust my gut sometimes, except in trivia. I tend to second guess myself. But I do kind of think we have fate. But I also like to think of it in the way of Sims, where like you give the character more free will, but at the end of the day, they still have like one goal and you're still trying to get them to achieve one thing. So we still have like a few things that we're destined to achieve, and people were made, and different types of people at least that we come across that like influence us in some way, shape, or form. But we're all fated to have some kind of impact in this world. But maybe not everything about our lives is planned to a T. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I changed my mind about that, but I don't know. I just think I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay. So the Jess and Amanda and Mystery Stalker Woman had a live guide on living with the land. Now, live guides did used to be a thing, but I will say they stopped using live guides on that attraction in 2006. So maybe Ridley Pearson remembered that from some of his first trips to Walt Disney World before he wrote the first book. But yeah, that was no longer a thing by the time this book came out. Although, speaking of guests getting off the ride at Living with the Land, you guys remember the dude who like got off and picked a cucumber? Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on. There is obviously magic in this world, like the world of the book. But could Wayne really send Jess a message in her dreams? I don't know. I really don't think so. Because we haven't gotten any inclination that like Wayne himself is magic. Although how would he program the kids to cross over as DHIs in their when they go to sleep without magic? Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Something to ponder. Lots of things to ponder. Okay. How do you guys fall asleep best? Do you do kind of meditative breathing, other relaxation techniques, reading, calm music, ASMR, stuff like that? I know I normally read. Sometimes I'll do like meditative breathing, like I kind of just focus on how the breath feels going like in and out of my nose, or um like my abdominals expanding as I breathe in and contracting as I breathe out, something like that. But I usually read if I'm not already dead tired, even if I'm captivated by what I'm reading, I can still get pretty sleepy, even when I've been wide awake and it's like the middle of the day. And not gonna lie, sometimes I fall asleep reading this, but part of me also thinks it's because I'm like combing this for details, and my brain's like, you're doing too much work for while you're reading. Like, just chill and read. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know. Reading usually helps me. But yeah, anyway, I guess that's it. That's it for this first episode back. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any improvements you want me to do to the layout of it. If there's any kind of other segments you might want me to add, that would be fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this book so far. Leave any kind of predictions you have in the comments of the YouTube video. Any theories. As I said, I read Fourth Wing and I got very into theories. And I also have a Hunger Games theory. And the podcast I do with my sisters, long distance sisters, once my little sister reads Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and then I finish Iron Flame, the three of us are probably going to sit down and do like a Fourth Wing theories thing. And then I'll also share my Hunger Games theory at the end. I'm pretty happy about the Hunger Games theory I came up with. I think it would be like cool if it were true. Anyway, definitely be on the lookout for that. I have no idea when that will come out. It'd probably be like maybe when I'm doing the fourth book of this. So it might be closer to the summer. But yeah, I don't know. It also depends on my little sister's school. But I think she'd be able to. I know she wants to read at least one book a month again, like she did last year. So she'll probably get through them. Probably have to give her Iron Flame at my older sister's wedding toward the end of February. Which I told myself I can't. I just got Iron Flame today. And I told myself I cannot read it until I'm done reading for this podcast. Because I want to read it so bad. But I can wait. It's been a few weeks since I finished my reread of Fourth Wing. I read the bonus 2 chapters last night. And I'm like, I'm okay. I can wait. But having that pretty new book to add to my collection makes me want to read it. But I'm also enjoying what I'm reading right now. I'm enjoying this reread. I'm enjoying Poor Unfortunate Souls. Once I finish Poor Unfortunate Souls, I'll do a Catching Fire reread. Yeah. And then I'd probably wait to do the Mockingjay reread after Iron Flame. Although I will say, it's only partially a reread. So something with me is that I have trouble finishing series that I love. I don't know how I'm just gonna have to push through for the last Kingdom Keepers book, which will be the third Inheritance book. I'm gonna have to push through. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I never finished Mockingjay. I also never finished the 7th Harry Potter book. I read The Cursed Child, which was like whatever. But I have to finish Mockingjay. I'm going to push through. I will have to finish the series that I love. They will have to be over. And I'm gonna have to do that when the 5th Empyrean book comes out. I never finished the Sisterhood with the Traveling Pants epilogue. Oh. Because like they had a whole book that was that series epilogue. What other series have not been? I didn't finish the second Mouse book. I only read the like, oh my gosh. What else? I don't know. I Crossed My Heart and Hope to Spy. I only read the first 2 of those, but I kept wanting to keep reading. I did finish the Click and the Alpha series when I was younger. So that's something. Well, Alpha is kind of a series. The Click is technically a saga, because a saga is anything over three like books, movies, whatever, right? They got just a offhand single book, duology, trilogy, and then a saga. Yeah? Yeah. Anyway, they're all series. That's can't go wrong saying that if it's 2 or more books, obviously. But yeah. Anyway, that's my little end of episode rant. So yeah, if there's any topics you want me to just like do as my end of episode as an end of episode rant, I'd probably be happy to. So yeah, anyway, have a great day. Have fun reading the next section of chapters, which is 10 through 18. And yeah, I hope to see you guys back next week. Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and follow. Also, please chat with me and other members of this club in the comments of the YouTube video. My other social media information and a link to the Long Distance Sisters podcast I am also part of will be below. Back in a whack.